So let me just lay out some of my bona fides, if I may, quickly here. Just ever since we've had this iteration of the show, since Wild has been here and Brew has been here, either as a contributor or a full-time host, I picked the Nuggets to beat the Clippers in the bubble. The Nuggets were down 3-1. Never wavered. I picked the Bucks to beat the Nets last year. Bucks down 2-0. Never wavered. Picked the Bucks to beat the Suns. Bucks down 2-0 again. Never wavered. Now, it hasn't always worked out in my favor. I picked the Mavs to beat the Warriors. Mavs down 3-0.
You did.
Never wavered. They lost in 5. I am not one to change picks, which is why this is as shocking to me as it is to you guys. Celtics in 6. Celtics are the better team. Celtics have been more impressive. Celtics are about to win Game 3 at home and Game 4 at home.
Hear that?
And I've got to tell you, okay, well, that's bad producing. Look at the bottom line, guys. Nick the flip-flopper. I got the Celtics in 6.
That's ridiculous.
That's poor producing. And they shouldn't have done that.
But that's what's happening.
However, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
It's not what's happening?
The moment this series got underway, I realized I had made a grievous error. I had done something Broussard often accuses me of doing. I had gone heart over head.
Yep.
As soon as the series got going, I was like, why did I pick the Warriors? All of the things that I was concerned about them in the Mavericks series are going to apply on a more well-rounded, better defensive team against the Celtics. But I picked the Warriors really, truly out of a personal vendetta against Kevin Wilde and Celtics fans at large. I just find them so obnoxious and so irritating and don't want them to have joy and happiness. And Nesson, who gets just so many free clicks and content from reappropriating my videos. I don't know why Fox lets them do that, by the way. My own personal attorneys have had to get involved. Like, it's called amplifying. Yeah, I call it unfair use personally. But again, we can discuss that another day. So I realized, Brew, that the Warriors have one path to winning the series. Steph Curry must be utterly transcendent for 3 more games. I don't think he's going to be. I think the Celtics are better. I think they've shown they're better. I think they have dominated this series outside of third quarters, and the Warriors are not going to get that energy boost in the third quarter once they're in Boston. So I've got the Celtics in 6. Listen, I don't like it any more than you do, but fair is fair, and it's what my head is telling me is the right pick.
Nick.
Yeah.
Nick. First of all, let me tell you what you just did. All right. This is like me sitting up here. Your little analogy, you tried to soften it, right? Denver, I never wavered. They were down 3-1, but I never wavered.
Fact.
This is what the equivalent of that is. This is like me saying, you know what? First year of my marriage, man, I was faithful.
Oh,
never cheated.
No, that's not.
Never wavered.
It's not like that.
Second year, I had honeys coming after me left and right, and I never wavered, never cheated on my wife. Third year,
I don't like where this is going.
I met a stone cold fox in the third year. She was so bad, I just couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. Yes, that's an old school term. Brothers know what I'm talking about. That's what you did, Nick. I am so disappointed. I am so disappointed. You are what? Yeah, it got ugly after that, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I don't know where Nick's headed after this. Who knows how many picks he's gonna waffle on now? 2 games into the series, you're changing your pick, Nick.
With the series
you are
tied,
one of the greatest.
so it's allowed.
You have been one of the greatest proponents in the media, in all of media, for take integrity.
Yeah, that's true.
And here you should have just swallowed the whistle, my man. You should have just, you know what? I'm going to have to bite this one. I think inside, I think Boston, but I got to stick with my Warriors.
I can't
But
lie
here's
to
the
the
thing,
audience.
and I don't believe in basketball gods. But if I did, I'd think they'd be disturbed right now, Nick. And this is only going to make it worse. Because I don't know what you've seen that has made you think Boston is going to be in such control of this series that not only do you pick them to win, but you pick them to win in 6? All right? Now, and I have respect for Boston. Boston was good to me in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Outside of Brooklyn, that was a long, long time ago. But since then, the Celtics were great for a brother. So I'm going to respect them. But I haven't seen anything to make me think, oh, Golden State is toast. They got no chance. And Nick, you have also been I wouldn't say a stickler, but one of the key factors in your picks is not always, but a lot of times, best player in the series, right? Well, the Warriors have the best player in the series. That's clear.
That's true.
And Steph Curry is doing what Kevin Durant couldn't do. Giannis obviously did his thing, but wasn't that efficient. Steph hadn't been greatly efficient either. So Giannis played well too. But he's playing great against this Celtics defense, and Klay isn't giving him anything. And I know you're saying, well, Klay, you think he's close to washed, if not washed. I don't think he's washed. I think he's due.
Oh.
And I think Klay is good for 1 or 2 explosions in this series. It might only be one, but it'll be timely. Be timely. You better believe that. Jordan Poole, I think, can have 1 or 2 big games. And Andrew Wiggins has been good, and I think can play better than he did in game 2. So, Boston shooting 46% from 3, and the series is tied 1-1. That's not sustainable. They're not going to shoot 46% from 3 throughout this series. Boston going home, so what? They're not very good at home in these playoffs. They're 3-4 in the last 2 rounds against Milwaukee and Miami at home. This series, Nick, it's going back to Golden State, tied at 2 games apiece, and then you'll probably come back on the Warriors side.
No, I won't do that.
What you've got to stay. You can't do the double flip-flop. The one flop is fine. And you know what, Nick? I think it's honorable. As a fellow person who has taken in some intel and decided to change my pick, I think it's an honorable decision.
Right,
and frankly, it gives me hope for the nation.
Congratulations.
You want to be on Team Wild?
That's where you are.
I'm going to change. Yeah,
now you have slid over to Wild side.
And
wonderful, Nick.
Thank you, Jenna. It's a wonderful place to be. Watch out for those frisky Magic.
You and Wild, Timberwolves, Grizzlies.
It's a great time to come over to. After a loss, the Celtics play fantastic. They win games by an average of 15 points, and they've done great. It's the 5th best all time. In the Heat series, after a loss, they won by 25. They won by 20. They also won by 4, so it could even be better. In the middle there, 15. Also, it's the turnovers. Right? If we don't turn the ball over, we win. They had 19 turnovers in game 2, led to 33 points. Dusty pulled this wonderful stat. Every game after a loss, their turnovers go down. 18 to 12, 12 to 11, 10 to 8, blah, blah, blah. 24 to 11, that horrible game against the Heat. Now they had 19. What are they going to have game 3? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe lucky number 7. And speaking of lucky, if you told me this earlier, I'm going to get you a nice little shirt with lucky on it. It's going to be great.
No,
now
stop it. You're going to make me sick to my stomach.
Fandom.
Listen.
Well, here's the deal. Listen,
I'm not rooting
you're all in now,
for
Nick.
either
No,
team.
you're all in now.
No.
You're all in.
Listen, I did not switch the pick after the Celtics went up 1-0. It was after the Warriors dominated game 2, which actually maybe adds to the courageousness of this. Also, I owe the audience honesty, and I looked myself in the mirror and I realized I'm not going to be able to go on TV for the next 7 to 10 days and act like I think the Warriors are better when I don't. So even though it undercuts maybe my long-term credibility, it's what I owe to the audience. Last point quickly.
It does not.
Brew is correct about one thing. He said that I am big on who has the best player in a series, and the Warriors do. But I've watched these first 2 games, and I think the Celtics have the next 4. I think the 5 best players in the series go Steph, Tatum, Brown, Horford, Smart. I agree with Brew. I think Klay's going to have 1 big game. That's why it's Celtics in 6, not Celtics in 5.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.